we're live.
We are live.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yep.
Okay, we're live. This is my first time doing a virtual podcast, so like this
and I get to be number one.
new for me. And you get to be number one. Like you get to be number one. So I hope that makes you feel special.
It does.
Okay, you feel special. Okay. All right, guys. So welcome to another episode of Uncomfortable. This is a virtual podcast. This is our first time on Uncomfortable with a virtual podcast, and this is episode 9. I have fucked up in the past episodes. I said episode 6 and episode 6 again. And this is definitely episode 9. Okay. So, this is my guest. Introduce yourself. Let them know who you are.
I'm Nafisa or Nafi. Who am I? What do I do? I don't know. I'm a cool person. I write. I'm an activist.
Yes.
I'm here for you. That's it.
Yes. Okay. And that's how we're gonna dive deep into this episode then. This episode is about Black Lives Matter, my bad. And we're diving deep into just a lot of the things that have been going on with Black Lives Matter, a lot of the things that we have been feeling, how we've been affected. And, you heard Nafisa say she's an activist, so she's been out there in the protests. She's been in front of those cops. She stood there, you feel me? She's been out there fighting for us, fighting for our people. So I thought she was the perfect person to get on to talk about these topics and to dive deep into them because I know she has so much insight. So let's start. So recently, what made me want to do this episode was the murdering of Dante Wright. This kind of like just was like another death in the Black community that was just like out of nowhere and once again just needed to happen, like uncalled for. And another incident with the cops, another incident with the police, and it just made me upset. Like it made me furious, like it always does. And it just it's at this point it's just like it's so sad to say that it just feels so normal. Like it just feels so like
and I felt the same because a lot of the things that it's like sometimes when I hear about certain things, I can't even work up the courage to say anything because it's like, I don't know how to feel. It's like, I'm furious.
Yeah.
I'm sad as fuck right now. I'm like, I could do a million things. And in that moment, it makes me like not do anything because I'm like, damn, like again, like in what way do we show like that we need to be respected? Like what do we do now at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's the next step? And I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's just like everybody feels that way. And I wanted to ask you because, there's been a lot of speculation about when this happened. People were saying, well, why did he run away?
Mm-hmm.
And why didn't he just comply with the cops? And so I wanted to ask you, what do you say to people that say, like, we should just comply with the cops and we should just listen to them and we should just listen to them when they tell us to do shit and not fight for our rights or not just say anything?
My whole thing is there's no right or wrong for a Black person in America. Literally, there's no right or wrong. Like, if I choose to sit there and comply with the cops, like Philando Castile, and show you my registration for my gun, I'm getting shot in my car in front of my wife and kids. If I sit there and don't comply and I run, I'm getting shot and killed down either way. If I try to save my life, then I'm getting shot in the back of my head like Michael Brown. So my whole thing is what is right or wrong for a Black person in America? Because I can comply and still be shot down. When people ask those questions, it's just like, it's kind of ignorant. Like, it's real ignorant because it's like, you must not know a Black person, you must not see what's going on, or you must be literally naive and blind to the bullshit because there's so much that shows that they don't respect us at all on any level. So how can I be right or wrong for complying or not complying?
Yeah. And it's like it doesn't even fall down. I don't even feel like it always even is with the police. Like it's not even just like them disrespecting us in that way and murdering us and killing us. It's just in the world.
Period.
Like we are just not respected either way. Like you feel me? Like it don't matter what we do. We're in front of a jury, in front of a judge. We're guilty. Like you feel me? Like that's it. We're getting the most sentence for the littlest shit. And we see the difference between us doing it and other races doing it, other ethnicity. We see the difference. Like we see the difference of how we're treated.
And the reality of it is back in the day when Black people were brought to America, we were brought here as a property, not a human being, not a person. not anybody
Right.
with rights. And so the foundation of America was built on that. A lot of our systems, a lot of our
Yes.
laws, a lot of our higher ups, our state officials, our politicians still go by those guidelines because that's what's set in stone for the
Right.
systems. So yes,
It was
if
built
you
on that.
feel
Yeah.
like um, less than a human, if you feel like property, it's because in America that's what a black person is. That's how they represent us. So no, we're not going to be
And that's how
respected.
they see us. Yeah.
No, we're not going to
Right.
be shown any type of love, respect, support, or any of that until those things are rewritten. And that's
true.
just
And
I believe that wholeheartedly because like you see it in everything. You see it in our educational systems, like you see it in like
yes.
we go get a job, a community, everything, the bank, like everything.
Yes. Period. I was just saying this the other day, and this is just like something so small and minute. It's not even so serious, but like the fact that I don't have fresh fruit and fresh vegetables in my supermarket in my community, and I know a lot of people that I know where they live, they don't. And it's like I shouldn't have to travel downtown to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods to get something fresh. Like I should have that accessible to me in my community because I'm a human being just like everybody else is, right? Like so it's like just that little small thing lets me know, like, you feel me, like how my community is seen, how my people are seen, that it's like, well, just give them that because it doesn't matter. Like we'll give them shitty parks and shitty places to live because like you said, they're not, it's not like they're anything, they're property.
And you could go on.
We
no, go ahead. We're property.
No, I wasn't saying
I was
anything.
going to say you could even go on to say that like it's not it goes with our food, but even in our banks. Like when I first moved to California, I moved to a place called San Rafael, and that literally the whole community, I could find off the top of my head, I know that there's TD, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, there's a private bank, and then there's three private banks. That's already 7 banks that I can name on the same block in that small neighborhood.
Right.
How far do you have to walk to go to your bank? And you're not going to see Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and all of them within the same vicinity unless you're in a downtown area or somewhere that has some type of money or stores. That's not in your neighborhood.
Right. My bank is super far. Like my bank is
it's something far. It goes to show, even really small as that. It's like, okay, they don't value us. They don't think that we have money. You'll see like liquor stores and all type of stuff, and in these white neighborhoods, that's not what's in their area. They don't have to have any of those things. They literally have a massage parlor. They will have a bank. They will have a law firm, and maybe they might have, I don't even know, like a office to get paperwork done. That's it.
Yeah, like the community. Yeah, like
it's very
nice.
simple.
It's
very
decent.
simple.
Very simple, yeah. And you can tell when you're entering the hood. You feel me? Like you can just tell when you're entering a place that's majority like Hispanic and blacks live. Like you can just kind of tell. Like, and it's just like it's to the point where it's just like you see how we're all grouped together. Like I was just saying this the other day, like it's so insane to think about the way New York is set up. Not even New York, but the Bronx. Like the way it's set up, like you just have certain neighborhoods where you just know this is where these people live, this group of this culture, this race. Like we all know Mexicans live on Elder, Indians live in Parkchester, Jamaicans live uptown. Like you feel me? Like we
and
all know.
Spanish people
like,
got the concourse.
Right, like, and then black people's mixed everywhere. Like it's just like, you know, you already know, like these are these places where you're gonna go where these cultures live, and it's just like it's not like that downtown. It's not like that where privileged people live. It's just them. Like it's just them. Like they all live together, and it's like, you know, it's such a divide in the community, and I feel like that's also one of the problems that I feel like people don't realize. It's not even just black people. Minority itself, we need to stick together. We need to come together. Black people, obviously, we get it the worst. Like we are literally we in every way we get it the worst. But if other minorities who get it worse, who get it bad just as much as we do, would stick with us, we would be all united as one. There would be no way to beat us.
It's crazy that you even mentioned that because you know me, I be hella on my black shit, hella on my Black Panther shit. And
right.
Like Fred Hampton, God rest his soul, would have been my soulmate if he was alive. Just gotta give him a little moment.
That movie was beautiful.
he had this movement. It was called the Rainbow Coalition, and basically that's literally was his whole idea. It's like, bro,
yeah,
you're marginalized and oppressed too, and so am I. So like, why not stand up together with me and fight against this white man type shit? That was his whole goal.
Yes,
and it was working.
Yes,
and that's why he was shot
until
down.
they murdered him.
Because
until they murdered
everybody
him.
behind him, like, and it was gangs. It was Spanish people, black people,
white gangs, Puerto Rican gangs, Indian, everybody. He had everybody.
For the simple fact that what he
rainbow.
said made sense. And nowadays, everybody likes to separate themselves in the sense that they're getting a little bit more privilege than you, so now we're not in the same boat type shit. Like Asians, like, hate to say that they're a minority or anything like that. You're a minority. Yes. When Filipinos came over here to California, like, they were getting shit. When Asians even migrated to America, period, it was all type of Chinese jokes and stuff like that. So don't make it seem like that y'all not minorities. We in the same boat. Let's fight the same fight together, because that's how we gonna get there faster. Exactly. We better together. Like, yes, always.
And sidebar with the Asians too, like, I don't mean to offend anybody, but even with this Asian hate shit, like, they sat there and got a bill. Like, you feel me? Black people ain't got no bill. We ain't got no bill. There's nobody fighting. You know, like, that shit was really, like, honestly, I felt like that was such a fucking slap to the face. I'm like, yo, like, y'all sat here and gave them a fucking bill. Y'all congregated. Y'all sat together in a fucking circle and congregated about Asian hate, but y'all can't do nothing about these police shooting down black people. Like, y'all can't.
What they really did was they made it easier to police people who, you know, are racist to Asians, in a sense. Like, they passed a bill to target a specific group of people who are targeting the Asians. Now, in the media, who's that group of people that's targeting the Asians? Black people. So now we're going to sit here and say that.
But, and some white people too. Some white people have that white man that killed all those Asians. You feel me? He murdered all of them. I'm pretty sure.
In the media, they're putting black people
in the limelight. They're making it seem like it's them. Yeah.
Yes, and so that's basically what they're saying. They're gonna police the people who are oppressing Asians. So they're just gonna crack down on black and brown communities again.
Black and brown people, yeah.
And it's just gonna lead to everything.
Which we don't need.
That's what I'm just like.
Which we don't need. Okay, like, which is why I feel like, and I feel like you agree with me in the sense that the police should be defunded. And, you know, like, when you have these conversations with people, like, I've had conversations with people, and I understand that your brother could be a cop, your sister could be a cop, your cousin. I'm sorry that your sister and your brother and your cousin, you feel me? I'm sorry that they chose to sign up for an organization like that, you know, but I'm dead serious ass. Because it's not yeah, like, I'm dead ass, because I don't even feel like it has to individually be your cousin, your brother, or sister, but they're a cop. Think about the institution. Think about what this was brought up for anyway. Think about why cops were created anyway. You feel me? So you joined something that was already created to target a certain group of people that's still targeting a certain group of people, and just because you're a good person, I have to believe that you're going to be a good cop. I don't know what you're going to do when you get in a tough situation. I don't know what you're going to do. You're a cop. You know, and people throw that thing around. Like, I had a conversation with someone that said, you know, well, they're scared. Bitch, I'm scared too. Like, I'm facing you. You have a gun. I have no weapon. And I'm supposed to be respecting you and trusting that you're going to ensure my safety when you're coming after people like me. And I'm supposed to be not scared, just like you're scared. First of all, I didn't tell you to be a cop. That's always my thing. I didn't tell you to sign up for this job. If you're scared, that's literally on you. You should know what your job entails, what responsibilities it come from. You have a gun on your waist, sir. What do you, like, and you feel me? Like,
the other thing for me is, like, bro, like, yes, you signed up for this, but I can't call the cops. Like, there's nobody for me to call if you decide to threaten my life or do anything like that. Who the fuck am I supposed to call?
Who the fuck is gonna protect me?
Who's gonna come to my rescue? You need to learn how to not feel threatened when you're in those type of situations. Yeah, that's what you're trained for. De-escalation. Exactly. So get that shit right.
Right. And but you know what the other problem is, and I feel like, I don't know the statistics on this, I should have researched it, but you know, I feel like they have a lot of cops that are not from the Bronx watching the Bronx and watching these neighborhoods. Like, you cannot have a cop that lives in New Jersey in the suburbs watching the hood. he's not from here. He doesn't understand that just because they stand on the block doesn't mean that they're threatening, and doesn't mean that they're going to try to shoot you or fight you, or just because they listening to music in a loud crowd doesn't mean they're fighting.
Or
That's
even
just what we
if
do
they
in this
might be,
community, in
they
this
might even
neighborhood.
say a certain saying to you, and any normal cop that's from the hood would know that they just joking around. But since you're not from the hood, you take it serious, and now
you're threatened. Yeah, and now there's an escalation, and now there's somebody hurt, somebody dying, somebody going to jail for no reason. Like, you feel me? And in situations like that, like, I feel like we need more people who are gonna say they want to protect this community, actually stepping up and protecting it. That isn't necessarily meaning you become a cop, but you know, like, why do we have all these people that are not from here supposed to be protecting us from here? Like, you feel me? Like, how can you be from my, not be from my community, but know how to protect me from my community? How does that even make any sense?
And those are things they don't consider.
That's like me going to California. Yeah, like, that's like me going to California and saying I could make you safe in your neighborhood. How the fuck I'm gonna do that? I'm from New York. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the reality of it is, it's a business too. So when they realize that they need employees in a certain facility, they're gonna put employees in that facility. They're gonna fill it up. It's not going to be like, oh, let's figure out if they're the right fit. No. You need a job? Okay, go over here. Like, you go over here. That's just how it's going to work. And so I have to think of it in that sense too, but also hold them accountable, because we hold y'all to a higher standard. Y'all the people that's supposed to be checking, crossing the T's, dotting your I's.
Dotting the I's, yeah.
I have to hold you to those standards. I can't hold you to anything less. So when you act in the way that you act, and knowing that you're supposed to be taking care of certain responsibilities as a police officer, then it's like, okay, now we have an issue with integrity. Now I don't know if this system should even be put in place, because I've been trusting it for so long, because this is the only thing I've known, but now I know differently. So now I know that I can change that. Now I know that this is not the only option. You feel me?
Right. Yeah. And you know, people say if we defund the police, criminals will run rampant, and that people will do more things, you know, or get away with more things as being criminals. And I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't necessarily feel like, because like when I think of defunding the police, I think of them taking money away from them that they get that they don't need, because clearly they're not using it to do what they need to do. I feel like the whole system needs to be cracked down. They need to change the training system. They need to change who they hire as cops. There needs to be a different type of pre-screening for racism and all that other stuff. Like, I feel like they need to do something new. So I don't think that they need to break the whole shit down, but they need to switch. The whole thing needs to be flipped and switched, and
so
everything needs to get
I
fucked
agree
up.
with you. I agree with you, and I disagree with you. I agree with you that it needs to be defunded, but it does need to be dismantled as well. So defunding the police and dismantling the police doesn't mean that we won't have higher ups or somebody powerful put in place to like check people. You understand? Like, because
I understand.
In a sense of community, like, we could go to, I could say long time ago's days, that video.
Right.
I could say back in the day, like, you know, you already established this kind of sense of community, and there was hierarchy because of that. So because of like the hierarchy within the community, you already, as a community, y'all checked certain people, or y'all did those things as a community. I don't know if you ever hear about these crazy ass stories, but like, if you ever hear about like a rapist or a murderer or a serial killer or something that like got away, and it'll always be a weird story that the community end up finding him, or the community end up, I've seen cases like that. So it's not like impossible for us to establish a community where we hold people accountable, but I don't think that it should be solely left on us. So I agree that we should have some type of system in place to check us, but the police force is not it. So essentially, like, if in a perfect world it would be dismantled, we would have systems that would protect us and hold everybody accountable, right? But the way I think of it is like,
like some neighborhood. Do you feel like it's like something like neighborhood
like
watch,
neighborhood
like
watch,
something like
but in
that?
a
Like
sense, I would say like the Panthers, if anything, because
okay,
I'm not saying like it would be a militant group to where they're armed, they're walking around and shit like that, but they was on top of their game and on every board, and they knew what was going on, and
yeah,
they knew what type of people like they had people's breakfast for people who didn't mothers and kids and people who was going to school who didn't have breakfast,
school,
they was
right?
offering
Exactly.
jobs for people who were going to get those breakfasts and didn't have things, who people who wanted education but
Yeah,
didn't have resources. So you feel me, it would be
just
a sense of
basically building
community.
community.
Yes, we're building community again. Like, yes, we're gonna have those same people that are gonna be checking all of that, but they're also gonna be providing certain services for us so that they know this is a relationship.
Mm,
This is not me above you. It's not like I own
right.
you, you do what I say. It's like, no, it's a fluctuation. This is flexibility between us, because
Yeah.
there will be some times where maybe we have to switch roles because whatever the community needs type thing. And
Yeah.
remember, I don't know if you remember a while back when I was talking about it was during Christmas, and I was like, I don't know about Christmas, but I'm celebrating Kwanzaa. If you go back to
Yes.
the principles of Kwanzaa, Umoja, like family, community, all of that, if we were to just align ourselves with those type of principles, um, we all of our questions would be answered. Like, we do not have to sit
Mm,
here and try to figure out a way to do anything because we are the community
yeah.
that we need. Like, I think another
Mm,
thing, Black people are always looking for some type of savior. Like, we always looking for some type of hero to lead, or some type of hero to like to grab a hold of us, or some type of celebrity to be like, here's your money, fix your troubles. And why are we looking for
like there's
handouts?
no
We
one's
are
gonna
the
be saving us.
handout.
Yeah.
you're
Like yeah.
you're the
Like
hand that you need. And so if you
yeah.
keep thinking that somebody else is going to do it, they're not. Build that
Mm,
community for yourself. And so that's what I remember. That's what I started doing on social media, and I did it for my mental health because shit was just getting bad. Like, quarantine was bad. I had hella bad
yeah.
anxiety, depression, all of that. I'm in the house, and I'm just like, yo, I know more people out there dealing with this same thing. Like, if I start talking about my issues, people gonna start talking about their issues, and we build a community to where, like, just know that you're not alone type thing. It don't even have to be like, I'm not
Facts.
trying to be your therapist. Don't try to be my therapist, but just
Right.
know that you're not alone. You comfortable. You safe type thing. And I want
Yeah.
that in real life. Like, I want to
Yeah.
build a community to where we can lean on each other. And so that dismantling the police system has to like come first before we could build
Mm,
Black communities back up, because we don't have
okay.
trust.
I was just gonna ask you that. So you feel like dismantling the police would be the first step in us us building a better community for Black people and Black lives.
Yeah, yeah. I think because our relationships right now are based on distrust. We do things because of distrust. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we Black people,
I
even the
agree.
way we move, like lock our doors, or not friendly, or not this or not that. We do things because we built this foundation of no, like, I don't know, I gotta have this wall, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
we don't have to be like that. A lot of, and
Mm-hmm.
for example, like, a lot of Black women are seen as strong or aggressive or whatever the case is because naturally we had to be, because people try to play us. So they think every Black
Yeah.
woman is like that, or Black women think that they naturally have to be like that all the time. Or when you don't meet an
Mm-hmm.
aggressive Black woman, or a Black woman that's
You're
shy,
shocked.
or
Like
don't say
yeah.
anything, you're like, whoa, like, you're not Black. And it's like, what? How does aggression define my Blackness? Because that's
Yes.
what we've been used to for so long. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so many
Mm-hmm.
things that we just have to get out of the habit of.
Yeah. And how do you feel about white people? That's such a weird question to ask, but like, you know, how do you feel about them as this, like, I guess you could say this journey as Black Lives Matter has been going on? Like, how do you feel about their contribution to it, or their not contribution to it, or just like if you have any people that are close to you that are white, like
I feel like that's a very good question. I don't hate white people.
okay.
I fuck with people. Like, I love people. All in all, like, whoever I get along
Right.
with, I love people. But I think that yes, I do think white people need to be doing more. You have a part here.
Right.
I'm not saying that they would come in and be the saving grace. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that that they're not doing anything at all. But y'all are the reason why the foundation was built. Dismantle the foundation.
Yeah.
White people have the power to do that. Black people can do it if we get there. If we really want to, we could do it. White people could,
but we need to be
they
united,
can make a phone call and literally be like, that's not right. If the right white person goes to the right white person and says, I don't agree with that. That's not okay. We should not be doing that. They would all follow suit.
Yeah.
Definitely. But nobody's going to do that because so many things have been set in space that protects them, that benefits them. It would be like, why would I do that? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Why would I take away from myself? And it's so sick that you say that, because that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I don't hate white people either. You know, I do have this distrust, I feel, that bothers me around white people. Yes. And it has nothing to do with you individually as a white person. I just feel like you as your group, your people, things that you've done, your people. And it's like, I'm not trying to blame you for your ancestors past, but it's like you were raised by your ancestors, was raised by your ancestors, by your ancestors, by your ancestors. You feel me? Like, your grandpa might be a racist.
And so by default
I don't think you're. I'm not, like, I can't, you know, around you so much, because it makes me feel like I can't even be myself, because you know, like, I don't know. I always feel this type of way, like I'm being judged, or I'm that black girl. Like, I don't know. I just always feel that way. So,
and it always low key is that way, because your initial meeting of a white person is gonna be cool. Yeah, it's not gonna be weird, or it might be really weird. Like, it might be some out of pocket ass shit. Like, do you know Michael Jackson?
Like,
or it might be some really like cool ass shit. Like, oh, I like that too. Where they really just hella naive. Like, like, whoa, some you don't see what's going on. But then there's like,
said, whoa.
But when you talk to them, that's when you find out, like, yeah, your family got some deep rooted history. Like, because when they say certain things, it's just like, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I can't have this conversation with you yet.
Yeah,
and that's kind of scary to have, because we should all be in a world where, like, nigga, you know what you did,
right? Like, you know. You know what you did, and that's it. Like, that's it. Like, racism is a thing. Slavery happened. Like, let's not act like it didn't. Like, you know, like,
because and my whole other thing is, like, with Jews in the Holocaust, it's always like, never forget, remember the Jews, Right. No, don't say that. He's Jewish. Don't do that. Right. Don't do that. No, don't say that. That's racist. With a black person, it's like, bro, that happened 300 years ago, bro. Forget about that shit, bro.
Yeah, like,
y'all niggas got rights now. Relax, bro. You can vote, right? You can vote, right? You could go in the school, right?
That's not enough. Like, that's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough at this point.
And so they really want us to be hush hush about it. Like, bro, no, you keep saying 300 years. No, it's in counting. It's 500 years of oppression, bro. We're still being oppressed,
and we're still being oppressed. Like, you know, like, I think, like, it's just that vibe you get, even when I'm around certain white people, and I'm, like, you know, talking about Black Lives Matter things, and you'll see the way they kind of, like, chime in, and they try to make you feel like they really, like, I vote for Obama. Or, like, they really sympathize with you, like, you know, like, yeah, that's terrible, and, you know, and I understand it, like, you know, but I fuck with those white people that just say it straight up. Like, one of my coworkers the other day, she was like, you know, like, you know, being a black woman is hard. Like, that shit is hard. And I was like, yeah. She was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, you don't have to be sorry. Like, you didn't choose to be white. Just like, you know, like, I didn't choose to be black. I was born this way, just like you was born your way. Like, you don't have to apologize, but thank you for acknowledging that and not sugarcoating shit and walking around it. You just said it because you know it's true. It's hard for black women. Yes. Like, that's it. Like, you know, like, let's not sugarcoat the shit. We know that.
And don't over sympathize with me either, because I noticed that shit too. Don't be like, yeah, like I would be doing everything I can if I really could, like, you know, or, you know, if I could, I would have voted for Obama again, you know.
Like,
bitch,
like, to try to relate to me. Yeah, like, to try to relate to me. Like, you don't have to try to, you know, and that's the other thing. You don't have to, like, do like say things that you think I say because I'm black, or do things like, you know, just to sympathize with me on that level because I'm black. That's not the way it is. Like, you feel me? Like, and I feel like a lot of people who are not black try to do that, and it's like, bro, you're making me feel more uncomfortable by doing that.
Like, trying to code switch.
Yes, like if you would just be regular. Like, I don't need you to try to do that. Like, I feel comfortable either way. And even for me, like, personal experiences, like all throughout school, I just happened to have a high pitched voice, and I used to hate when people used to be like, "Oh, like, why do you talk like you're white?" And I'm like, so can't just be born this way. Like, I have because my skin is black, I have to talk aggressive, and I have to be like loud and angry, right? That's what you're expecting. But when I open my mouth and I sound like this, you're shocked, you're surprised that I'm black and I speak like this. Like, bro, that has nothing to do with my blackness. I'm black, and I have a high pitched voice that was just I was born with, bro. Like,
yeah, I hate that too. Like, they expect you to talk in a certain way. Even when I moved over here, like, and it's not that I started talking like I was from California, but nigga, my vocabulary has expanded. I'm smarter now, so I'm gonna use different words. I'm not gonna be using the same words that I used to use. So then when I start to switch up, it's like, now you really from out there now, this and that. I'm like, bruh, I'm just a little bit more educated. Like, I'm the same black girl. Be, same vernacular. Okay.
Like, you know, like, just be downplaying you just because you're black. And I just feel like that shit, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how you feel, but I feel as a black woman, I already feel affected because I just feel like as a black woman, I'm just disrespected off the rip. Like, I don't even have to do nothing. Like, I don't even have to say no shit. Like, I'm just a black woman, and I feel like that already carries so much weight. And then also being a black woman and being a part of the black community and seeing the things that happen to my community, seeing the way my community is treated, having younger siblings, you know, that are black, and having to realize that these are the things that they're going to have to see. I've seen a little bit. You feel me? My parents have seen worse. Their parents have seen worse. You know, it's just generational shit. You know, and I hope that they don't feel that way. But I know as a black person, I'm just exhausted. Like, that's personally how I feel. I feel drained as a black person. Like, I just feel drained. I feel exhausted. I feel like I can't even count how many times I've heard they just shot another black person died. This, like, I'm just annoyed by it. Or this black woman this, or this black woman died from birth. And, like, just hearing shit, like, it's just like, you know.
It's overwhelming. It's hella overwhelming. Like, what do you do? Like, sometimes I'm like, I want to get off social media. I'm like, don't talk to me about that shit. Like, because, like, it's gotten to a point where it's so much, like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Like, literally, what am I supposed to do? I wake up and I feel like every day, like, I'm fighting for this cause and it ain't going nowhere. Or it's like, I want to wake up and shoot everything. Like, do I get to wake up and shoot everything?
Yeah.
And not go to jail? Do I wake up and get to do that?
Like,
because there's times where I'm like, fuck, I'm doing everything right. I'm being nice about it. I'm writing letters. We calling in. We getting organizations to do fundraising. We signing petitions. We talking to politicians. We building relationships. We all this type of activism in the community. We giving back. We doing all of this, and then another black person gets shot down. And then it's like, okay, all right. As just one person, we gonna do it for him. Like, we got you. We gonna do it for him. Let's get back out there. I know y'all, but let's get back out there. Let's do it again. And then another black person dies, and it's like, okay, fuck this. I'm turning the fuck up. I'm looting. Like, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And then 10 black people die, and it's like,
it's like, we did that for no reason because we still not getting nowhere.
Like, what do I have to do? Like, so at this point, what do you want me to do? Like, literally, that's how I feel. Like, if I could describe it, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing nothing right in your eyes. I can't do it right, and I can't do it wrong. So what can I do?
What do you want? What can I do?
It's overwhelming.
It's so overwhelming. It's to the point where you just, like, at this point, I feel like no matter what I do, like you said, like, there's no right, there's no wrong. So I just feel like no matter what I do, something could happen, something could not happen. So I just decided to start living my life and not be fearful, because it's like, I can get shot tomorrow, not by the cops. I can get shot tomorrow by the cops. Like, at this point, it's like, you know, like, it's like, what, like you said, what can I do? There's nothing I can do about my skin color. I'm not gonna bleach my skin. I love being black, so I'm not gonna do that. And I cannot not be black. So it's like, what?
And that's what made me start thinking about, like, just building my own community, because I'm like, okay, if I'm not accepted here, I'm not gonna keep trying to like force myself to be accepted where they're not accepting me. Like I'm just gonna go to a community where I am accepted, go to a community where I do belong. Like
yeah.
And then the other part of me be thinking like, why am I trying so hard to like give America my fucking money and they stealing it already? Like why I'm like everything that you do from the moment that you grow up, you're taught to like build for America. When you're in school, all the things that you're taught is so that you can work under a capitalist society, so that you can learn how to be a good employee and keep working and get a pension and get a retirement plan and
which
all
is
of
what
that.
they want
so you can
everybody
keep
to
working
do. Yeah.
Why am I trying so hard to work for this country? Why? No. Like this country didn't put nothing in my pocket. This country don't pay me no type of pension. I ain't get no motherfucking 40 acres and a mule. I'm done. And y'all, we could talk about reparations. I don't even want to go there. We don't even want to go there.
Nah, I feel like the reparations is like we at this point, black people should be rich. Like we should all be millionaires. Like we should have our own fucking gated community, just black Hollywood where all black people live.
Hello?
And that's that.
If you want to talk about the equivalent to reparation, you talking about 40 acres and a mule. I need a car, a house, some stock. And I still take them 40 acres.
Period.
Because on them 40 acres, I'm going to build whatever. A business, a house, sell it.
Something.
Give me my 40 acres.
And that's the thing that people don't realize. Like, it's not that, because some people, I talk to people about this, and they be like, well, like you said, like, oh, slavery ended 400 years ago, and this and that. And I'm just like, but y'all don't understand. It's the position that they put us and left us in. If we would have had 48 acres and a mule, we could have been in better positions to do better things for our community.
Exactly.
Y'all left us with shit to do nothing, to have shit, to do shit with. So it's like we stayed in shit, and those people that was born into shit thought the shit was regular and continued in the shit. So it's
right.
Why? Like,
that's literally
why do
what
y'all
think?
Like that's what
and
we were
then
given.
That's what builds the relationship, because like now it's like, okay, if you don't have credit, you can't get credit. You gotta have credit to get credit. Then it's like, okay, if you don't have money, you can't get money. You need to establish money to get money first. So like, sorry, because literally, if you applying for a job or certain things, like you need a job, you gotta have certain certificates or a job application fee or this fee, and it's like, okay, I don't have money and I'm trying to get money. How am I gonna try to? I'm trying to get money, but I have to have money to get money. Are you stupid? Like
it just doesn't add up, and
and
it's just unfortunate.
These are the systems they put in place for us to not be successful.
Yes.
Like this is the things that people need to realize, and they don't. Mm-hmm. Like these are the conversations that, yo, bro, it's because everything is habitual. We were taught to just do this, just do it. Like you when you grow up and you 18, you know to go to college and get a job. Why?
Facts.
Just go to college and get a job.
Yeah. Like you said, these are just things set in place, set in motion. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even when you go to college, like everybody be excited, like you going to college, like, yeah, I'm going to college.
Like, yeah, I'm giving my life away, $40,000.
Yes. And when you drop out, niggas be surprised. Like, you dropped out of college? Yes, because what I was learning in college didn't make me happy. What I was doing in college, I knew if I would have continued to do it, I would not be in a happy place.
Broke, unhappy. Like, why am I in college? And you don't have to go to college to educate yourself. You literally don't. You can be at home educating yourself and getting all the degrees and certificates you need online.
Exactly. And just like we was talking, 9 times out of 10, especially in the generation, anything you want to learn, unless you don't need a certificate from it, you can YouTube that shit.
Yes.
So it's like,
everything is a DIY.
You can literally, everything is a DIY. Like, you could then start your own business just from watching something on a DIY that you just really passionate about, and now you don't even need to work. Now you don't even have the time to work.
If quarantine wasn't the perfect example of that, like if you didn't start being a hustler in quarantine, then you really just a broke ass person, period. Because there was so many things that was in place that people started getting creative and starting figuring out, like, yo, I can make money. That's like with the epoxy, doing all of that.
Yes.
Like that's like people that's making rugs, people that started nails, even like selling scarves, doing something. It's
Lashes,
like, you know that you could, you know that you could be a hustler and do that because it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, don't make it seem like you can't make money or can't have a business, and be self-sustainable. Like,
yes,
like come on,
it's possible, right? And I feel like just seeing, like, even on a quarantine, like you said, that was hustling mode, like just seeing everybody hustle, that was an inspiration. Even seeing black people, like at that point, I was like,
we
okay,
was
there's
elevated.
mad black-owned businesses that just came out of nowhere, that just popped up. You know, continue, do your shit, and even with that was something I was gonna ask you. How do you feel about people when they say like, you know, like sometimes as black people we can kind of just like, you know, like cancel everybody else out, like when we say black-owned business only, or like, you know, like.
Do you see Jews in the black establishment?
No.
Do you see Asians in the black establishment?
No, never.
Do you see Spanish people in the black establishment? Possibly in the Bronx.
Possibly Spanish. Yeah.
But Jews go to Jews, Asians go to Asians. Black people can go to black people. Stop making it seem like it's a race thing when we do that. We can support black people, but you don't see if an Asian person is going to get a job in certain places, but they damn near gonna go to they people's supermarket. They're gonna go to they people's nail shop. They're gonna go to they people's whatever they place. Because they know that they're gonna go fit in there. Yeah, they're not gonna go to a black person and be like, "Yo, can I cut hair here? Like, what's up?" Like, no, they're not gonna do that because that's their establishment. So when black people are like, "Okay, I want to support this black business and this black business only." Or, no, I'm no longer going to get my nails done by so-and-so. I'm going to go to my black friend because I know that she can do it. It shouldn't be seen as an issue because everybody does that. And why are you looking at something good in a negative light? Like, I'm supporting my friend, but you're being negative because... What? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
I don't know. I feel like when us black people, and even like when we praise each other, like just each other, like you know, like if I just post a bunch of black people and I be like, all black women are just beautiful, the best on earth. It's like, are you trying to say that nobody, like, bro? I'm trying to give black women their flowers because we don't get none. Like, relax, you got flowers already. You've been getting your flowers.
No, you have a whole bouquet. You have a garden,
like,
bro.
Can I just get
cemetery? Can I get flowers?
Get a little? Right, can I just get flowers for the day? Just for the day. I'm not even asking all the time.
Bro.
Can I just get, like, you feel me? Like, can I show women that probably haven't been shown that praise? Can I show praise to businesses that probably don't feel like they would have made it unless other black people praise them, you feel me? Because they know that black people don't get treated with that respect and when it comes to businesses. So it's like, when I'm doing that, I'm not doing that because I don't fuck with you and everything you got going on, all that stuff. I'm doing that because I'm just showing love to my people and that's it. Like, I feel like people try to make it seem like black people do that and we don't want to show praise to other people. And it's like, that's not even what it's about. And you making it about you just goes to show me how you really feel. Because it's not even about you.
Exactly.
It's not even about you.
It goes to show that you trying to make a separation where there isn't any. Period. Like, it's okay for black people to support black people. Period. I don't have to say anything behind that.
Yeah, you don't. You definitely don't. That's just the end of it. Like, I can do whatever. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So it's like, that's the other thing too. Like,
yeah, regardless of the case, it's like, even though I could explain this shit to you, it's like people gonna do what they want. Like, you see Jews supporting Jews. You see, like, it's never been an issue. You never see people like, oh no, the Jews don't let nobody in, and they don't. But you don't see them talking about it like that. No, just build your own community, and when we start doing the same things, just keep the same energy.
They deadass have their own community in Brooklyn. Like, it's deadass just a community of Jews.
Yes.
And I feel like that's how, like I was saying before, we know Jamaicans is uptown. Like, we know Spanish on Concord, Elders, Mexican, Indians, Partridge. Like, everybody in their culture has stuck together. And I feel like that's the problem with black people. We don't stand together. We're not all united on one front. You know?
Well, go ahead.
I think that a lot of us think one way and a lot of us think another way, and we also have generational shifts where there's older black people who don't see the way younger black people think and don't see our causes and the way we want to change things because they've been comfortable sitting where they've been sitting, just allowing shit to happen.
The other thing is that what I was saying is there's literally just a distrust within our community, and it's not because of us per se, it's because of the situations that we were put in. We end up being put in other situations that leads us into distrust. Like, for example, because the simple fact that we weren't given like all the resources that we needed, let's say 40 acres in a mule going that far back, now we're unable to build a house, build these things. Now we gotta steal and rob to get what we need to build our communities and stuff like that. That creates a distrust. So now it's like, that's my neighbor, but he be on weird shit because he be stealing stuff, like, you know. And so you do want to care for that black person, but it's like, how do I know I can care for that black person? Like, a lot of black people are on guard because we want to know that you got the right intentions at all times. And I don't know necessarily what created that distrust between us within ourselves, because black people have no problem. I could ask you right now, if you about to go file your taxes, you mainly might file by yourself, but if you go somewhere, you're not gonna go to a black establishment unless you know that person personally. You're not gonna have a black person file your taxes. You're gonna have a white person file your taxes. That's just the reality of it. But if you knew a black person that could file taxes and that was educated and knew what you knew that he was doing their stuff the way they were supposed to be doing, you would go to them. But there's a distrust, so it's like, okay, I'm just not gonna go to that person because I don't know what they're gonna do with my social. The hell?
Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right.
So that's why I feel
never really thought about it like that.
Dismantling the police is the first step, because that's where most of our distrust comes from. If we can build a community again where we like start to trust one another, start to like hold each other accountable for certain things, then it's like, okay, maybe I might have a friend. Maybe I can partner with you. Maybe I can, loan you this, and maybe I can be a realtor. Like, you start opening up options for different things.
And even with the police, like, I also feel like they don't even, as a person that's lived in communities where the police are always around, they're even on the corner just watching the block and stuff like that. I've lived on like Morrison, Harrod, and Bronx River, fucking West Farms, like, places where it's hot, where the cops is always at. And I could tell you that I never felt safe having them there. I felt safe having the hood niggas there. I swear, I felt more safe having the hood niggas there, because I'm like, I know if something happens to me, they got my back.
Yes.
I don't know that these niggas got my back. I don't know if they're gonna go against me and have the other criminals back. So I don't
grew
know
up on some fuck 12 shit. Like, we grew up like
on some
the
shit.
cops, like, don't talk to them. Like, who's that? Like,
period. Like, walk, like, tell them suck my dick.
Like, what?
Shit. Like,
like even in middle school, like, or getting out of high school, like,
even the
cops
even
try to say something.
Yes.
I'm like, security, like, who?
Like, even the security guards in our school, we even disrespected them. So it's like,
bro,
like,
you wearing a badge? Nah.
Like, yeah, like, and it's crazy because it's like, I remember one time I was in Cobb City and I'm with my friends, and some woman is lost. Like, she's lost. Like, she don't even know where the fuck she's at. She must have been not even from New York. And the cops is there, and we tell them, like, oh, like, she's lost. Like, she's supposed to be in the other section. She doesn't speak English, and can you take her there? This nigga goes, I'm not a cab. I wanted to say, but you're the police. Like, aren't you supposed to be watching the community and doing good shit for the people? Why wouldn't you drive her somewhere? Why wouldn't you drive her to the other side? You're a cop. That's what you're supposed to do. Protect this community. That's what they do. That's what you're supposed to do.
It's really funny that you even mention that, because when I first started going to high school, like, when I first started, like, traveling by myself, I was lost. And there was this paddy wagon, and I was gonna ask the cops, but I was so scared. I was so scared to ask the cops. And it wasn't because I'm like, they're gonna kill me, but it was just like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know what they would do. So, hell no, I can't ask the cops. Like, I'm lost. I might as well just figure it out. Like,
yeah, it's like they don't even serve the queen. I feel like cops are supposed to do shit like, obviously, stop robbers and crime and rapists and do shit like that. But like I said, like, you supposed to wash the neighborhood. You see an old woman walking with grocery bags, you're supposed to step in and help her. You see somebody's lost,
to serve and
guide
protect
them. Like, you supposed to guide them. Like, these are just things that you're supposed to do, that I would think that if I was a cop I would be doing, because I'm supposed to be protecting this community. You feel me? I see a kid by themselves, or even like I see a woman walking at night by herself. Ma'am, do you need to be driven home? Just shit like that. Like, I walked past the cops at 2 o'clock in the morning and they didn't say nothing to me. Like, it's dark, my nigga. Like, I'm a woman and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You gonna drive past me? Like, I said, goddamn. Okay.
If it's not to serve and protect, right? That's literally supposed to be their jobs. If you used to ask a cop to like what they became a cop for, they'll be like, to catch bad guys. That's what they became a cop for. They didn't become a cop to serve and protect, to provide for their community,
That's a
to
good question.
do any of that. They're gonna be like, I wanted to catch bad guys. Some people might be like, I wanted to make a change in my community, and then those are the few people that realize that it's the system and not just that person, and that's never gonna happen, and that you're gonna have to. It's bigger than you. That's when people realize, oh, it's bigger than me, and that's when they become a bad cop.
Facts.
They're like, oh, no, wow, I can't do that. Damn, I'm getting in trouble for being a good cop. Damn, none of my good cops are being good cops. Damn, there's hella bad cops. Oh, it's bigger than me. I'm gonna get transferred if I do that again. All right, it's bigger than me.
It's just back, and it's just like back to back. Even with that situation with, I think her name was Makia Bryant. I don't want to mess it up. Mm-hmm. She was 15 years old. How you kill her when she called you to protect her? How does that happen? You feel me? And it's like the situation, I feel like I don't even get it. And I don't even get it. And my thing that I always say is, why is the gun is always being grabbed for? Even with that situation with Dante Wright, I thought I tased him. Bitch, no, you didn't. You know the difference. You know the difference between a taser and a gun. I went to a gun range. A gun is heavy. You can feel that shit. You can feel it. It's heavy. You know what I'm saying? On a sidebar, I'm probably gonna lose some followers after this.
Yes, for sure.
For sure.